Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. For today's video, I wanted to do a very special sort of Dooney and Bourke vintage collection sort of review and thoughts on my perspectives of them. I have a very small vintage collection for Dooney and Bourke, small as in 2 bags, but I really like how these bags look. One of them is actually a bag that was originally my mother's, so it means a lot to me sentimentally wise, but I thought I'd share with you all in case these were bags that you might consider, getting, or if you've been looking for, you're not quite sure, maybe this video will help you a little bit. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. For those of you who are new to the channel, thank you for dropping by. My name is Lily and I'm so delighted to have you here with us today. In today's video, I wanted to share my thoughts a little bit on vintage. For those of you who have been here for a while, you know that I've developed a fondness for vintage items over the past couple of months, really from the beginning of this year. You get a really good quality bag for a very decent price. A lot of folks maybe sometimes don't think about getting vintage, but it's a really good option, as an alternative to brand new bags because they are out there in the market. They have been around for so long and they have so much life left on them, so why not give it a go? So the first bag I'm going to show you all today is the bag that was originally my mother's. I've shown this on this channel a long time ago, and that was when I first did my whole, I think, bag collection, but this is the one that was originally my mother's. The reason I'm doing this video today is because I got these 2 bags back from the cobbler. There were so many scratches all over it and it was just really worn because I didn't know how to take care of bags when I was younger, but I do appreciate them a lot more, and I learned from him that you're supposed to sort of like condition your bags every year, so maybe that's something I could learn how to do so I don't have to bring it in and pay them to do it, and it'd be a fun project too, really, right? So this is the all-weather leather bag. This one I believe is at least, I want to say it's at least 25 years old now, if not older. So this was one of the first, I guess back in the day, it was my mother's first luxury bag, really, and she used it a couple times and she was so afraid of scratching it because it's this beautiful pebbled calfskin sort of leather, and she used it only a couple times and then gifted it to me, and I used it quite a bit in my 20s, and I sort of abused it a little, so that's why I had all these marks, but it came back looking beautiful. All the scratches are for the most part gone. They conditioned it, they cleaned it, and I definitely plan to take good care of this moving forward. So this bag I have seen on Poshmark and on eBay. I think they're going anywhere from like, I want to say $70 to no more than $200 for sure. I don't even think it gets up to $200, but you can get this bag, the vintage version, on a pre-loved market, of course, and you want to make sure it's authentic, do due diligence on that. There are quite a few websites, I think, that show you how to do authenticity. I think I found one. If I'm able to find it again, I will definitely link that website in the description below, but it is just gorgeous. I think this is like a dark brown taupey color. I don't know if the lighting is picking it up appropriately, but this is with the brass hardware, and as we know, Dooney and Bourke has the 24 karat gold plated enamel. I'm actually not quite sure I don't think that was the case back in the day. I think this was literally just brass, and I think, yeah, that's correct because it literally says brass here. So back in the day, I think they didn't do the 24 karat gold plated, but I could be wrong. So if you are a Dooney and Bourke fan, definitely let me know in the comments below. Would love to hear. But this bag has definitely gone through a lot, and I think that it's such a classic looking bag for such a great price. You have the duck emblem here, and you notice immediately that, obviously you have the branding up there and it says all weather leather. They definitely sell the all weather leather, I think it's called 3.0 or something, on their website right now today, and goes anywhere from like, I don't know, $200 to $400 maybe, but it's a very similar look. And if you want to go the vintage route to try it out, you can definitely get a bag for a very good price, and I just really love how it looks. So the front, obviously pretty self-explanatory. We're going to go into it in a little bit. The back is nice. There is a pocket here. Now the thing is, there is a clasp or like a push button through it, right? Kind of mechanism here where you could lock it in place and you can't open this on both sides. But realistically, if you do want to use the whole bag, you probably don't want to have to finagle with it every time. So you could probably just leave it open like this. For me personally, I have, when I used this bag before, I had the smaller iPhone, so it fit in here perfectly. But now with the bigger iPhone, it's definitely not going to fit in just this one area. I'll probably have to, keep this open like this and see how that goes. But yeah, there is a back pocket, and I believe you can definitely fit an iPhone 15 Pro Max in here, but I haven't tried it yet, and my phone is actually using it to record right now, so I can't really show you. But basically, you can fit it standing up for sure. I'm actually not quite sure if you can fit it going lengthwise, but you can definitely fit it in the back. So sorry, it wasn't too helpful on that regards. But in the front, I think one of the only cons for this bag, besides the fact that it can get scratched easily, right, because of the type of leather, is the fact that you have to open up or unbuckle this opening here to get into the bag. Now, for some people, this probably could get a little cumbersome. I know from my personal experience when I had to use this in my 20s, it was very cumbersome to get in and out of, and you're gonna get a lot of wear on this piece just because you're, you know, moving it in and out. So that's something to be aware of. But like I said, you know, this is a vintage piece, so if you get this pre-loved, you know, you have a little bit more room to kind of work with it. The inside is a raw lining. I'm actually not quite sure what this material is. Maybe it's micro suede, I'm not sure, but it is a raw lining, and I quite like the look of this. I know it's like this unfinished, unpolished look to it, but it gives it a lot of sort of, in my perspective, like a wholesomeness to it. I don't know if that's the appropriate word, but you know, it's the best I could think of. And then inside, it's a huge hole. This is a very spacious bag. It can fit, you know, a compact wallet. It can fit your 15 Pro Max in here, or any iPhone Pro Max in here, of that size. And there is this sort of back pocket situation here, which it's leather. And then you'll notice that there is a zipper compartment here. So it's a tiny, tiny little zipper, if you can see, very, very tiny little thing here. And then the zipper works perfectly fine. And then you could fit something through this pocket here. And then there's also 4 card slots, which I've never really used. And then the inside, yeah, it's just all like this. So it's a very flexible, very spacious bag that goes very well, I think, honestly, with quite a few outfits. I love the vintage look of it. I think it's very classy. And then of course you have the all-weather leather sort of etched here. And yeah, it's a very straightforward bag. I will insert some mod shots so you can see how this looks. But in terms of mechanism for adjusting the strap, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holes here on this side, and then also 5 holes here. So honestly, I think Dooney and Bourke is the only brand I've personally encountered. There's probably other brands out there, but it's the only brand I've encountered where you are able to adjust both sides of the strap. Notice here, right? You could adjust this side, you could adjust this side. Typically, folks only, or manufacturers only, sort of just have one side for the adjustment, or no adjustment at all, depending on the brand, right? That model. But I do appreciate the fact that you do have both sides for the adjustments, and it's that beautiful brass hardware here. And then you do have a padded shoulder. This is, so the material here is like just flat leather, right? And then here is that beautiful pebbled soft leather. It's not extremely plushy, but it is very, very soft, and it's so comfortable to wear on the shoulder, whether you're wearing a tank top or whether you're just wearing a jacket. It's very soft and comfortable, so I really like that. But I love this bag, never gonna get rid of it, just because, first and foremost, sentimental value. I think that we all understand if something's sentimental, regardless of whether we use it or not, we're gonna, you know, keep it. And I just don't want to ruin this bag. So for sure, I don't think I'm gonna be using this as much, just because it means a lot to me. It was my mother's, so I want to keep it in perfect condition. And so after this conditioning, hopefully it stays in this good condition. But yeah, I highly recommend this bag. From the times I've used it, I loved it. I've gotten compliments on it even back in the day, because it's such a beautiful vintage item, and you honestly don't see a lot of people wearing these, which is why I think it makes it so special. And plus, you could get it for such a great price, so I don't see any cons. But yeah, if you have this bag, let me know, and let me know how you're liking it. So this is the first bag in my mini Dooney and Bourke vintage collection. All right, moving on to the second and last bag in this mini vintage Dooney and Bourke collection is this one that I got off Poshmark, actually, and it came with the authenticity certificate and everything that they did, so I was more comfortable with that. But honestly, this bag, guess how much it was on Poshmark? It was $80. $80 for this beautiful bag. Granted, like I said, I did bring these to the cobbler. I got it sort of cleaned and conditioned, and each bag was 50 bucks. So yeah, that did add on to the price, right? But you do the condition, you do the cleaning, and it's good to go for a long time, right? Granted, of course, you know, you should probably take care of it, like condition it yourself yearly or something like that. But I really wanted sort of like a creamy light bag for summer months that was a little vintagey and just, you know, roomy. And I was searching on Poshmark. I went into this like Dooney and Bourke rabbit hole hunt after I rediscovered this bag here. This was the bag. This one was the one that sparked everything again for Dooney and Bourke. To me, it was this bag, and I just really appreciated how beautiful and classy it was. I went on eBay, I went on Poshmark, and then I found this gal, and I was like, yes, I want her. And she was advertised as in like, obviously pre-loved condition. She didn't really have any marks, but she had some scratches a little bit, so that's why I wanted to get her cleaned up and everything. And she looks great. I picked her up today. She looks beautiful. This is what the bottom looks like. I don't remember what the name is. I will search for both of these bags, and if I can find pre-loved versions of them, I will definitely put it in the description box below for you so you can check it out. But this is some type of crescent bag is what I recall the listing saying. So there is some fraying to the stitching, as you could probably see here. That one's popping out a little bit, but 80 bucks. I mean, this still has so much life left in her. And then it has a lot of hardware, also brass hardware. I don't know the age of this bag. Definitely at least 20 years old. There's still some stains that, you know, they couldn't get out, but it's okay. I think she's been cleaned pretty well. So actually I should probably clean her with a Clorox wipe inside, because I do see some remnants of stuff in there. But anyways, this is what the interior looks like. It's a big pocket, and I think for a lot of Dooney and Bourke bags, they all have this very traditional back pouch that we saw in the other one as well. This one has 4 slots and that zipper compartment as well. And then in terms of the model, typically it says something like this: Dooney and Bourke. This one's made in USA. I know that some of them were made in, like, I don't know, China or some other countries. And then here the little Dooney and Bourke branding there. But yeah, it's just one big compartment, super spacious. You could fit so much in here. There is no back pocket, unfortunately, but also wonderful mechanism again, where you can adjust both sides of the bag. Now, how cool is that, right? I love that. I think that's so great. It gives a lot of versatility depending on your length. Everyone's different, so it allows you to customize that. And what's also really nice, of course, is the fact that you have this very nice padded sort of like, you know, shoulder pad area here, which gives a lot more comfort to when you're putting it on your body. And I think I'm actually missing one of these on the other side. I don't know what happened to it. It's one missing on this side, but it's not the end of the world. I don't know if the cobbler gentleman lost it, but anyways, there is obviously wear to this bag. You can see even after they cleaned it up and conditioned it. I think if you bring this to a really fancy cobblery, they probably could do a really good finishing job on it. But I just brought it to the local one here, and I think he did a pretty decent job. But I think, you know, I know a lot of places where you spend a couple hundred and you could totally restore the bag and it looks brand new. But I don't think we need that for this bag. I think that, you know, I kind of wanted some age to show because it is a vintage piece. It's kind of cool also. There are 3 of these little metal protruding buttons here, not really buttons, but little balls, and just to give it that sort of aesthetic design, which I think is really nice. And then you have leather piping all around here, the duck there. So yeah, I haven't used this bag. This is definitely going to be one of my summer bags, and I will do an in-depth review in terms of what fits in each of these bags in a future video, just so you can kind of see if it works for you. But obviously from the size you can tell that it fits a lot, right? And also, as I'm doing my rotation of my weekly bag challenge, both of these will definitely come into play at some point or another. So yeah, I hope that helped for this bag. I know I said I only have 2 Dooney and Bourke bags. The third one I wanted to show is kind of like a bonus bag. It's not really Dooney and Bourke. I was debating for a long time whether I should show this, because I think this is kind of like a knockoff version of Dooney and Bourke, but it is real leather and it is actually really pretty. I love the look of it. I don't know if Dooney and Bourke manufacture something similar to this, but my mom actually got this bag on a cruise ship to Mexico like 20-30 years ago. During that trip, she got this one. When you get off the cruise boat, you're able to walk around a little, and some little shop was selling these all leather bags. I know for sure this is all leather, and of course the cobbler gentleman cleaned it, conditioned it, and yeah, confirmed it is real leather. You can just tell. It's not a replica for sure, but it's like a knockoff kind of, I don't even know if that's the right word. But here, let me just show you instead of trying to explain it and not making sense. But this is the bag. And isn't she just so beautiful? I love this bag. I've not seen this type of bag anywhere, and I think it's just so beautiful. So I will say that this bag originally did not come with this chain. It had a chain, it had a leather strap that matched the colorway of the bag itself, but it was so frayed and it was so long and not adjustable that it would hang all the way down to my thigh. So I ended up cutting that strap and putting a different strap on. Now this strap was originally from the brand Bera. I had some Bera bags a little while ago and I really liked it, but then, you know, after some use, I figured it didn't really, well, first of all, it would get scratched a lot, which, you know, is understandable because it was this kind of leather, but at the same time, it was kind of too small for my knee, so I actually had resold that, but I kept the chain. It was an extra chain I bought, but it was really, really long, so it wasn't this length. So I went to the cobbler and I asked him to tailor it for me, so he tailored it where it would fit perfectly on my shoulder, and you'll probably see that in the cutaway mod shot as well. But I just thought this was so beautiful, and I love this one. I have not really worn this one, but it got scratched a lot, and you know, some of the scratches were really deep. You still see it here, but it's like 100% better than what it used to look like. It was horrible. And this is what I mean by like the knockoff version. So it says here, it has the duck. It's so funny. It has the duck and says gold duck leather collection. So it's obviously not Dooney and Bourke, right? It even has a similar little tassel thing, but they just made it like this. But it's like that similar vibe, but it's not any brand I've ever heard of, but it is beautiful leather, and I love the structure of this bag. So it's like, yeah, it's gonna get scratched very easily for sure. And this is what its little metal thing looks like, which is like so similar to Dooney and Bourke, right? Except it's called Gold Duck. Anyways, there is a back pocket here that is very tight, and it's like inside's like cloth lined, but you could definitely fit a phone standing up here. An iPhone 15 would fit no problem. And then it has this sort of like turn lock mechanism where you open it. The inside is also raw. I believe it's like raw. It's not lined that way. And then here it says, oh, there's a little thing here. It says Monroy and a distinction emoda. Yeah, so this is like in Spanish or something, because like I said, she got it in Mexico when we got off the cruise ship, and I was still really young, and she saw this and she wanted it. I don't remember how much it was at that time, but I think she got a good deal. And then the inside here is just like fabric lined, and this is raw. I don't know if you can see, but it's like a big hole, and there is a back pocket as well. So anyways, this is just like, I mean, I'm never gonna get rid of this bag either because it was my mother's, but I just love it. I mean, I know it's like not, like, it's kind of like a knockoff, right? Which is, you know, obviously not great, but at least it's not a replica, thank God. But it just like, I just love how it looks. I think it looks super, super nice. I'm sorry, you can't see, but you should have been able to see in the mod shot. I just think it looks so nice, and it's such a beautiful vintage piece that I just couldn't help but share it here. Maybe other brands are selling this type of bag if it kind of, you know, suits your, if this kind of floats your boat. But if you haven't heard, there is a brand called, like I said earlier, Bera. I think they're based in UK. They have very similar bag styles, kind of like structured styles like this. If this is something you kind of like, maybe look at that brand. I'll put the link to that brand in the description below as well, so you can check it out. But yeah, that is all. So that is all for today's video. I don't think we're talking too long here. I'll need to snip out some minutes here to condense it, but I hope that was fun. I really enjoy like sharing my thoughts and my, you know, new bags, or new to me, but you know, obviously vintage older items with you all, and I hope you all enjoy that. If you have any vintage Dooney and Bourke bags, share them with me. I would love to hear how you're liking them and sort of the wear and tear on them as they age over time. But anyways, thank you so much for dropping by, and as always, please stay healthy, happy, and safe, and I will see you in my next video. Take care. Bye.